So for review question 5, simplify the following, giving your answer in positive index notation. So by positive index notation, it actually means to have all my powers in the positive form, nothing negative. So looking at the question, what I can do first is to keep change flip. So I'll keep the first term, square root 64x half, y minus 1/4. I'll change the divide to a multiplication, and then I'll flip the second fraction to become y cubed over root 5 of 32 x to the power of 1/4. Okay, so for rational indices, let's track a little first and understand a little bit more about our rational indices. What I can do for rational indices is that for a, let's say for example, I have cube root of a squared. How do I change it to a fraction power? Is actually a 2 over 3. So this numerator will actually represent my power, and this denominator over here will actually represent my root number. Okay, so looking at this over here for this term, this entire thing I can bracket to the power of 1, and for square root, it's a root 2. So what I can do is that this will become 64x half y minus 1/4, whole thing to the power of 1 over 2 over 1 times y cubed over, same thing, I can have a bracket power 1 over here. So this becomes 32x to the power of 1/4, whole thing to the power of 1/5. Okay, so from here, this to the power of half, this half actually belongs to every single term inside your bracket, which means it's 64 to the power of half, x half to the power of half, y minus 1/4 also to the power of half over 1 times y cubed. Likewise, for the denominator, this power of 1/5 belongs to every single term inside here. So 32 to the power of 1/5, x 1/4 to the power of 1/5. Okay, so to simplify this a little, okay, so 64 to the power of half. How can I simplify this without using a calculator? So what I can do is that I can change this 64 to a smaller base, all right, which is 2 to the power of 6 to the power of half x. Okay, so for this indices over here, I can use the law of indices am to the power of n, which gives me amn. So it's a multiplication of the powers, and that gives me x to the power of 1/4, y minus 1/4 times half, that gives me minus 1/8, whole thing over 1 times y cubed over 32. I can also change this 32 to a smaller base, which is 2 to the power of 5, whole thing to the power 1/5. X, again, it's a multiplication of the powers, which is 1/20. Okay, so from here, again, it's using the same law of indices, multiplication of powers, 6 times half, that's a 3, x 1/4, y 1/8. How do I change this to a positive index notation? Basically, I just have to drag this portion down to the denominator to make the power a positive form. Okay, and then on the other side, I have y cubed over, same thing, a multiplication of power, 5 times 1/5, that's a 1 whole, so 2 x 1/20. Okay, so looking at this, I have actually all my powers in a positive index notation already. I can just do a multiplication of this fraction to simplify this. All right, 2 cubed, it's 8, x 1/4, y cubed over, denominator, I'll have 2, x 1/20, y 1/8. All right, so from here, for the numbers, I can simplify, both divisible by 2. All right, and for the x, I'll be using this law of indices. AX divided by AY give me AX minus Y. So 4x 1 over 4 minus 1 over 20. Y, same thing, 3 minus 1 over 8. Okay, and this gives me 4x 1 over 4 minus 1 over 20. I'll get a 1 over 5. And y, 3 minus 1 over 8, I should get a 23 over 8. And everything is in positive index notation. This is my simplest form.